up here at Lake Perris, where the marine is, Sean. And let's see, got my tackle box, camera gear, more gear, tripod, net, hat, penfishingrods.com backpacker model, Elkhorn fly rod, 9'5" weight with a bat and kill reel. I'll show you the reel later. I got the smallest bait caster, penfishingrods.com, the Goliath pole, and the smallest of the fly reels, of the bait casters. Rattle shad wrap on there. I have a penfishingrods.com ferro rod. And the original Goliath. So we're gonna start over here and work our way down to the dam. We entered over there is where we paid, and then we drove down here, parked. We tried that marina, then we drove over there. We walked along the dam. We tried the dam about midway, nothing. But then we drove out the gate, around the Parkway Express, whatever that is, past the go-kart village, around the backside of the mountain, backside of the island, backside of the lake, and we're back here. And I recognize this piece of a beach with these rocks as a guy's video from last month here. He was catching bluegill on corn right here. So matter of fact, he left his corn can. Probably the same guy. Maybe not, I'm not accusing him. But we're gonna give this a shot. This is a pretty cool area. Backside of the island. Now a guy told us, I asked him why they take the marina out and why they take the boat ramps out. He said they're redoing it. They want to bring this lake back to its full glory because something to do with the next Olympics, there's going to be something held here. That's just word on the street, word on the trail, word on the bank. But you heard it here. Something to do with the Olympics is going to be held here. So they want to bring this lake back to its full glory, which is awesome. I have a lot of childhood memories here. We're going to give this a shot. I remember as a kid coming here. You gotta be older to remember this one. You gotta be at least above 55 or so. But in the back of comic books, or in the front of comic books, they always had this page filled with lures and 3 rods: a bait casting rod, spinning rod, 2 spinning rods, push button spin rod, open face spin rod, and a bait caster. Tackle box and a bunch of lures. I think it was 200, they said 200 piece. And it was $14.95. You ordered it through the mail. It took forever. It said 6 to 8 weeks. It took forever to get there. I was like that little kid. Everybody was like that little kid from Christmas Story. Coming home from school, running to the mailbox. Anything, nothing. Finally it got there and I opened it up. It was a bunch of junk. But to a kid, especially back there in the mid-70s, it was a treasure chest. And my older brother brought me up here and we rented a boat. We came out, we fished all over the place. We weren't catching anything until we got back around right over in that area, I believe it was, in between that saddle and the island. And we could see fish following the lures, but nothing would take them. And there was one lure in there, which again, if you're above 50, you'll remember it. It was a rip-off of the rooster tail, and it had a white body with white dots, and the spinner, the blade, had ripples in it. One had ripples in it like a corrugated roof, and the other one had a flower pattern on it, real close to, very dangerously close to rooster tail. But I would drop that straight down and reel it up, and the bluegill were just following it like crazy. So my brother would put the net down below in the boat and bring it up, and we'd follow up with the net, we'd net them. We were just throwing them back because they were small, but I remember having 3 or 4 bluegill on a stringer that I caught from that pole. That was the only fish I ever caught from that setup. That setup today would be complete, would be worth hundreds of dollars to many of us, just for this nostalgic purpose of having it. But right over there, caught that. And then later on, the family across the street, which had 10 or 12 kids. 12 kids, I think. Yeah, 12 kids, Maganias. And they'd come up here and they'd have a great time. And my mom and dad, we'd go to Lake, what's the name of that one? Elsinore. It was good back in the 70s, 60s, 70s. And I'd find the lucky bottle caps, and we'd figure out the clues, my brother and I. But then that got polluted, so we started coming here. And we came here, we were camped out over in this area with a campsite. My brother and I, we were just kids. Raced you to the top. My mom and dad said, go for it, just watch yourself crossing that street. So we raced to the top of that peak over there. And I had my brand new wrist rocket with me, and I looked down about where my poles are now, and there was a massive bluebelly. I've never seen a bluebelly that big. How they get real big, they get like a black. And I took a rock, I go, Richard, look! And I felt real bad because I had a big old rock and I shot it, just lucky shot, just boom, dead center, and cut him in half. And I went down and looked at him and thought, what a waste. What a total waste. I killed this great animal, you know, and I'm not gonna eat it, not gonna use it for bait, just, it had lived this long. And I felt real bad. And that feeling always stayed with me, and to this day. A lot of memories here though. The fishing's nothing like it was. The lake's a lot lower than it was. But you still feel those same memories when you come back here. We're about ready to take off. We've tried everything. In all the years I've been fishing here, I've never fished this shore. This is the first. Oh, and there's a bike lane that goes all the way around this. It's 9.5 or 9 3/4 miles. So you can park over here and take your bike, and you can ride your bike completely around this lake. If you want to see what it looks like, there's the bike lane right there. If you want to see what it looks like, there's a guy on here on YouTube that he recorded the whole trip, most of it. But I have this one set up with a cricket on the bottom, drags loose, so in case something runs with it, a bell on it. Found that bell at Puddingstone Lake, Benelli. Now it's called Benelli. And this one's got the old trout rig on it. This one's got comes out and I pull the line down with a bobber. If the bobber goes up, you know you got something on, but the drag's loose, so it's not going to take the pull. This one has a sliding sinker, a redworm, sliding sinker, and a cricket. He's got night crawler on. Nothing, nothing, nothing. None of the boats, nothing. It's hit and miss. This may remind you of a cartoon. I thought it was just a cartoon, but it's actual reality. Check this out. Clam's got legs. Clam's got legs.